My name is Marco Richard Orlando. I live in the Bangor Brewer area. I've had an active social life. I would perform karaoke at a bar on Friday nights. I got a lot of enjoyment out of that. I'm also pretty active in the self-advocacy movement. I'm active. I'm active with Speaking Up for Us. I represent them here locally as well as statewide on their board of directors. I was one of the first to take part in their leadership program back in 2014, I believe. It was something different. It was something that I knew I could capitalize on. It was an experience. I got to interact with other people with disabilities and kind of problem solve our way through different scenarios. It was a nice challenge. I know the sub minimum wage was a hot button issue in Maine for a while. Trying to eliminate that, close the loophole so some people can't uh, pay folks with disabilities less than the minimum wage. I actually drafted some written testimony on the subject. It's something that interests me. I know that there's been a push, at least here in Maine, to eliminate the marriage penalty tax so folks with disabilities are able to get married and not lose their benefits doing it. And I also took some driver's ed courses over last summer, have my permit. I've actually taken the road test, didn't do as well as I would have liked, but I'm going to try again. Learned quite a bit about myself, practicing driving around town. I think I'm quite to the point where I can drive without a co-pilot just yet, but that's definitely something to work on. That's something good. That's a plan. That's a goal for myself. Yeah, people have been very encouraging because most folks with disabilities, I guess society doesn't really expect us to do some of the normal everyday life stuff that they all take for granted. So it's been nice being able to show people that I can do some of these things too. I'm currently enrolled in a bachelor's degree program through Western Governors University. They're an online school based out of Salt Lake City. I'm actually about halfway through my program right now. I'm a business major. I mean, I have an associate's degree in office management from Beale College. I've always thought about furthering my education beyond the 2-year degree, so I figured a 4-year degree would be a good next step. I've thought about going after a master's degree after that. Haven't quite gotten to that part yet, but I realized that if I want to be taken seriously in my chosen field, I kind of have to have some of the credentials to go along with it. I've had experience doing office work in social and human services and other female-dominated workplaces. That's kind of my strong suit. That's work I know I can do well. It's work that I know I'm good at. I do think at some point I would like to do some more public speaking around self-advocacy, disability rights, kind of be an advocate for people in the area and let people know that I encountered a lot of the same challenges that they're going through currently. I realize as I've gotten older that there kind of has to be a next generation to pass these things on to. Because I know Sufu's got a bit of a history and a bit of a tradition behind it. And we really need to push for the youth to kind of come on board, the youth movement, the 18 to 34 demographic, the under 25ers. Because we need those young minds, we need that new blood, those fresh ideas to kind of guide us along where we're headed going forward. it's not easy sometimes. I mean, I'm not always as confident as I appear to be on the surface. I mean, I've had to what exists is a lot of times is mainly the illusion of confidence and kind of that fake it till you make it kind of deal. But I find that I've got some support working at Sufu and being involved in their efforts. It's been refreshing having that kind of support and having those kind of friends. I know in my case, I've internalized a lot of hatred over the years, and it came from a place of feeling less than human. So honestly, no one is harder on me than me. Um, I, I'm not content with being average, so I push myself to do better. Because a lot of times I could never seem to shake the feeling that nothing I ever did was ever good enough. So yeah, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do better and kind of hold myself to a higher standard, kind of leading by example. I feel like Sufu has changed my life for the better. Because the more I heard about it in the early days, when I first came on board, I mean, the more I heard about it, the more I was like, maybe this is something I want to be a part of. I enjoy going out in the community from time to time, even if it's just picking up something up at the store, even if it's just browsing at stores. I get enjoyment out of those things. Pretty much any opportunity that's out there for social interaction, community inclusion, I thrive on that.